Welcome back to the channel. Today we will travel through the pages of What If Issei Awakened the Boosted Gear Early Part 5. The link to the story will be in the description below, and if you want an update of the current series, join the Discord. Now let's start. Chapter 17, The Ruined Princess Strikes. Commence operation. Issei and Riaz came to a sudden stop just steps away from Kakabiel. Here's my power. Please be careful, Riaz. Boosted gear gift. Transfer. Riaz let out a loud moan as soon as she felt Issei's warm power channel through her veins. You're always worrying about me, my cute pawn. But don't worry, I will show you firsthand the power of your king. Riaz said, removing her hand from his cheek as her eyes changed into crimson rubies. Riaz launched herself into the air, firing a blast at Kakabiel. Drag, how long until balance breaker comes back online? Issei said, noticing the second jewel was still black. Judging by your power signature, it will be at least another 10 minutes. Drag said, making Issei grit his teeth. Darn it. I guess I'm really going to have to let Riaz fight alone. Please be safe for just a little longer, Riaz. Issei said, watching patiently. Take this. Riaz said, firing her crimson-covered black shadow creature. Kakabiel placed out his palm and blocked the mass attack of magic. Ho-oh. So you become this much stronger when you combine your power with the Red Dragon Emperor. Interesting. However, it's not as powerful as Surzich's. Kakabiel said, deflecting away the attack. I'm not done yet. Riaz said, firing another wave of attacks. This time Kakabiel caught Riaz's attack and pushed back with his own power. I will not let you mock me in front of my servants. Riaz said, making 4 huge magic circles to blast through more of her power. It's still too weak. Kakabiel said, making Riaz collapse to the ground from the drain of magic. Riaz. Issei said, going to his president's side. President, be careful. Come forth, thunder. Akeno said, shooting out a huge concentration of lightning. Kakabiel closed his wings around himself to block Akeno's attack. This power seems familiar. Don't tell me you're Barakiel's daughter, don't speak his name in front of me. I am nothing like that man. Akeno said shortly after losing altitude when she was hit by Kakabiel's counter-attack. Akeno-san. Issei shouted, leaping into the air and caught her just before she hit the ground. Ha ha. Failure to choose worthy subordinates must run in the family, Miss Gremory. A ruined holy sword project, the Red Dragon Emperor and Barakiel's daughter. Kakabiel said, making Issei get angry. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bastard. You don't know anything about Akeno. She's a kind and caring woman. And whoever her father is should not affect that in any way. And if you do anything to hurt her again, I will make you pay. Issei said, making Akeno blush. Mocking my brother is bad enough. But disgracing the name of my servants is punishable by the most painful death. I will kill you now. Riaz said. Kakabiel dropped down to the ground and wielded a sword infused with light. Issei-kun will buy you some time, so concentrate on powering up. Kiba said, charging Kakabiel with Zenobia. Oh, a true holy swordsman and a holy demonic sword wielder. Interesting. Kakabiel said after he generated another sword and blocked before Kiba and Zenobia could hit him. You're wide open. Kaneko said, trying to hit Kakabiel with a surprise attack. No, I'm afraid you're the one who is off guard. Kakabiel said, using his wings to hit Kaneko in the air and also pushing away the 2 swordsmen who tried to slash him moments ago. Kaneko. Issei said, running towards her with Asia. We're not done yet. Zenobia said, you want some more? Come on then. Show me what you have got. Kakabiel said, causing Kiba to charge the high-ranked winged beast. Sword birth. Kiba encircled Kakabiel with holy demonic swords which all tried to impale his hardened wings. Is that all you got? Kakabiel said, annihilating each sword with the powerful strength from his wings. Kiba yelled, trying to hit Kakabiel with his sword. Kakabiel caught the first attack with his 2 fingers. Kiba then generated another sword for his other hand. But Kakabiel blocked that one also. One more. Kiba said, slashing Kakabiel across the cheek with a blade he held between his teeth, making him let go of his other swords. You bastard. That hurt. Kakabiel said, firing a sphere of holy light at Kiba. Zenobia intercepted the attack and cut through it with clean precision. It intrigues me that you still fight so hard despite the loss of your leader. Kakabiel said, making Zenobia snap. What do you mean by that, Kakabiel? Answer my question now. Zenobia said, making Kakabiel chuckle. Oops, it just slipped out. I guess the cat's out of the bag now. Why not? I'm trying to start a war again after all. It wasn't only the demon lord's most prized soldiers, rulers, and the high-ranked fallen angel generals who lost their lives in the 3-way war years ago. God was killed as well. Lies, all lies. It's not true. Zenobia said, finally collapsing to her knees in despair. If God is dead, then what about his blessings? His prayers? Asia said, finally speaking up. Michael seems to be filling in for him at this point. As long as the system is still working, prayers and exorcisms will still function properly. Kakabiel said, making Asia faint into Kaneko's arms. Asia, Issei said, aware that she must have fainted from shock. The fact that God is dead is the only logical reason that you were able to create a sort of opposing elements. Akabiel said, referring to Kiba's weapon. We won't let you destroy our town. Let's do it, Akeno. Ria said, taking flight with Akeno. Yes, President. Akeno replied as they both attacked Akabiel. Ria's launched what was left of Issei's boosted power straight at Akabiel. Unfortunately, the winged beast caught her attack and concentrated it into a small sphere. Akeno shot next, but the result were the same. Akabiel took her attack and changed it to a power death ball. Akabiel cackled as he merged the two blasts together and threw it at the king and queen. Akeno, look out. Ria said, deploying a defensive magic circle in front of her. The girls let out blood-curdling screams as soon as the attack made impact with them. Enough. I said that's enough. Issei roared, catching both the fallen maidens before they hit the ground. Akeno was still conscious thanks to Ria's taking the extent of the attack. Ria's, on the other hand, was now in Issei's arms, her clothes torn away by the immense impact she suffered. Count over. I've had enough of you hurting all of those I care about, Akabiel. It ends here. Issei said, placing Ria's softly on the ground. Issei removed his leather jacket and his red vest and placed them both on Ria's. Akeno, I'm leaving Ria's to you. Issei said as he made his way to the arch-enemy of the devils. Oh, so the dragon has come out to play now. It's futile. You can't beat me. Boost. 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 Akabiel. For Asia. For Kaneko-chan. For Kiba. Zenobia and Arena. For Akeno-san and for Rias. For the pain you have caused all of them. I swear. I will never forgive you. Issei shouted as a tower of flames shot out from his sacred gear. Boost. 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 Welsh dragon. Balance breaker. I see now. That red dragon armor. That menacing crimson aura. So it was you all along. You're the well-known assassin who has killed over 10 of my kind. The one they call Nightwing. Akabiel said, suddenly finding himself being launched from the spot he was just in after a powerful fist struck him in the face. Shut up. No more talking. It's time I take you down once and for all. Issei said, delivering a blood-coughing gut punch to the surprised fallen angel. Don't fuck with me. How could a devil of your status manage to hurt me? Akabiel said, his speech interrupted once again when Issei kicked him from behind. Don't get overconfident just because you managed to beat the immortal phoenix with luck, brat. Akabiel said, firing a huge holy spear at Issei which he effortlessly smashed through with his fist. It wasn't luck, Akabiel. I crushed him. Just like I'm going to do to you. Issei said, closing in on Akabiel again. Take this. Issei said, inhaling and then exhaling a huge amount of flames. Akabiel grinned, placing up a magic circle maneuver to block the flames with ease. Issei used this attack as a feint and flanked Akabiel. I'm here. Issei shouted, grabbing onto Akabiel's face with his scaly hand. Issei shot towards the ground and then smashed Akabiel directly into the surface of the floor. Akabiel shot upwards from the hole, quickly chasing after Issei back into the sky. How's this then? Akabiel said, making an even bigger golden spear above his head. Issei created a small crimson blast sphere in his palm and then closed his fist around it. Boost. 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 Take this. Akabiel shouted, throwing his deadly projectile at him. Dragon shot. Issei replied, countering Akabiel's attack with his own. Akabiel became scared for a brief second when Issei's powerful blast tore through his spear and forced him to lower himself to avoid the blast. However, just when Akabiel felt he had successfully evaded Issei's dragon shot, Issei clicked his fingers and then brought down judgment upon the crafty fallen angel. Break. Issei clicked his fingers and then in an instant, Issei's colossal blast exploded, immediately separating his attack into a rain shower of small concentrated rain orbs, which all showered down upon Akabiel. Ah! Akabiel yelled as soon as he was hit by the attack he worked so hard to dodge. Wow, did you see the Kaneko-chan? Kiba said, sincerely amazed by Issei's trick. Yes. Akabiel without a doubt dodged Issei-senpai's attack. But then he managed to break apart his dragon magic to hit Akabiel in a different shape. This is pointless. Why do you waste time picking a fight with me when that girl there is also a fallen angel who you have proven to hate so much? Akabiel said, making Issei sucker punch him. Don't ever compare Akeno to you, you bastard. Akeno is nothing like the trash that you are. And I won't let you say what you please about her. She is an important person to me and I will not let you hurt her. Issei said, hitting Akabiel with an elbow to his jaw. You really think you can beat me? You're nothing but a waste of space. Kakabiel said, trying to hit Issei, but to no avail. Kakabiel swung punch after punch at Issei, but the Red Dragon Emperor easily either dodged the attack or he blocked the thunderous strike. Don't fuck with me. This ends now. Kakabiel said, losing his temper to the full extent now. You're right, it is over now. Crimson flare. Issei said, the eyes on his helmet suddenly transforming from green to red. Kakabiel suddenly became startled when the blinding light show faded. What? How is this possible? Kakabiel shouted, seeing wherever he searched, there were now hundreds of Red Dragon Emperors surrounding him. So you've decided to hide instead then? Find time to hunt. Kakabiel said, using his wings to try attack all of the Isseis surrounding him. It's over, Kakabiel. Dragon shot. They all shouted, making Kakabiel shield himself with his wings. Little did Kakabiel know, Issei had ascended to the highest feats in the sky above him after he blinded him and made him see those illusions of him. Images of the red-haired beauty appeared in his head as he floated high above the surprised fallen angel. Riaz. This is for you, Riaz. Crimson Dragon Cannon. Issei said, changing his usual dragon shot to the matching shade of the hair of the one he loved so much. Issei charged 2 mega dragon shots just like he did against Razor and then combined them together to create a more grandiose and destructive cannon beam. The magical blast shot down beautifully from the heavens and consumed Kakabiel whole inside the Crimson Death Ray. And as a result obliterated the barrier that the Citri family worked so hard to reinforce. This can't be. Kakabiel said as his body impacted with the ground with magnificent force. Issei dropped down to the unconscious fallen angel and then shouted to Akeno. Akeno-san. Please lend me your power to seal him, I need to freeze him for good. Issei said, making realize he was asking her to use ice magic. Boosted gear gift. Issei said, absorbing Akeno's blizzard attack into his sacred gear. In the name of Lord Surziches, the Demon Lord, I as his most trusted disciple, hereby sentence you to eternal slumber. Freeze down to the bone and become immobile. Absolute zero. Issei shouted, causing a sapphire magic circle to float over Kakabiel. The magic spell activated and encased the arrogant traitor in solid ice. What was that light just now, chairwoman? Saji said, recovering from the sudden jolt as the barrier crumbled. I don't know. But it seems Ria's team won. Sona said, noticing the destructive spell which threatened the town was now gone. Akeno. What happened? Ria said, suddenly waking up now. Arias, it's all over now. Akeno said with tears and a smile. Do you mean my brother made it in time? Ria said, surprised by how things turned out. Not at all. Issei-kun saved us all. He really is a reliable and courageous man. Akeno said, making Ria sit up and see Issei stand next to a huge block of ice. Issei's balance breaker had now been deactivated and so the Red Dragon Emperor's well-toned body was on display, making Kaneko and Zenobia stare. All of a sudden, a loud sound of wings flapping could be heard above them. I was wondering how long it would take you to arrive, Azazel. Issei said to the blonde-haired man who just landed in front of him. Issei. I see you managed to take care of Kakabiel already. Azazel said, tucking his wings back in. Yeah, no thanks to you, right, Azazel. I knew you were watching all along, so you could have jumped in at any time you wanted to. Issei said, making Azazel laugh. As expected of you, Issei, I didn't think I could hide my presence from you. Azazel said, approaching Issei's forged ice sculpture. Here he is, all ready for pickup. Issei said, tapping on the ice block. Good job, Issei, I'll take care of the rest. Azazel said, transporting the captured Kakabiel to the underworld. Afterwards he left himself. All of a sudden, Issei took flight suddenly to the outskirts of Kuo Academy. Where is Issei going, Akeno? Ria said, trying to get up. Don't worry, Riaz, Issei will be back. Akeno said, feeling like she was beginning to understand him. Issei shot through the sky and landed near a cliff edge looking over the academy. Nice to meet you, so you must be the vanishing dragon. Issei said, looking at a shadow behind a tree. So you knew I was here, Welsh dragon, hi to Issei. A silver-haired teen said as he emerged from the shadows. I see you've been following me for a while for you to learn my name. Vali, the White Dragon Emperor. Issei said, making Vali smile. I see you've also been doing your research, hi to Issei. As expected of my rival. Vali said, deploying his silver gauntlet. I don't think it would be best for you two to fight right now, partner. Drake said. Drake. The red one is right, Vali. You two are destined to be rivals, so you will both fight each other when the time comes. The White Dragon said, making Vali back down also. Albion. It's been a long time, Red One. Yes, it has indeed, White One. Do you think that your suitor is going to be able to defeat us? Of course, I have full faith in my partner's strength, he is a fine Red Dragon Emperor. I see, then this fight will definitely be worth taking part in. Then until we meet again, Drake. Yes, until then, Albion. Drake said. Well then, hi to Issei, we will meet again. Get stronger because as it stands, you can't win. Vali said, deploying his wings and took off. I look forward to it, Vali. And the same goes to you, I'm not going to hold back. Issei said, returning back to the granaries. Issei-kun, welcome back. Akeno said, alerting everyone to his sudden arrival. Issei. Rias said, leaping straight into his arms. What's wrong, Rias? I was so worried about you. He was so powerful and I didn't know what was going to happen. But then when I saw you standing there I was so glad that you were okay. Rias said. Issei smiled and wrapped his arms around her back. I'm so sorry to have worried you, Rias. I'm back. Issei replied, hugging her close. The next day, thanks to the student council, the school day went just as planned thanks to their speedy reparations. After class, the occult research clubhouse had a huge surprise in store. So what's the big surprise, President Rias? Biba said, sitting in the clubhouse just like old times. Ah, that's them now. Rias said as soon as the individual opened the doors. Good afternoon, Red Dragon Emperor. Zenobia, Issei said, noticing the blue-haired girl. Everyone, allow me to introduce you all to the Granary House's newest knight. Zenobia will become our second knight. The wielder of Durandal will make a fine asset to our team. So please make her feel welcome. Rias said, making everyone cheer. Well, this is certainly a surprise. Kiba said, feeling shocked. Welcome to the team, Zenobia. Akeno said, smiling towards her. After I found out the Lord was dead, I was desperate, so I begged Rias to take me in. And I transferred as a second year to this school today. It looks like we'll classmates from now on, Issei-kun. Zenobia said, creeping Issei out. I'm sorry, I was just trying to be like Irina. But I guess it doesn't suit me after all. Zenobia replied. You don't have to worry about anything, Zenobia, just be yourself, we are all friends here and we want you to feel welcome. Issei said, making Zenobia smile. I understand. But becoming one of the enemy I originally sought to destroy is a very troubling act to take. But the daughter of the demon lord was so kind to me. Oh, what should I do, my lord? Zenobia said, getting an immediate headache. Asia, I owe you a huge apology. When I was a saint I called you so many horrible things and accused you of being a heretic. As soon as the higher-ups found out that I knew about God's death, they deemed me as a danger to the faith and deemed me a heretic. I am deeply sorry, the things I said to you were wrong and hurtful. For a holy sword user who should be respected be cast out for knowing the truth, it has changed the way I look at everything. I can't get their treatment of me out of my head. I must have treated you the same way. Zenobia said, bowing down to her. Zenobia, please don't feel bad, I may have become a devil, but I don't regret it for a single minute. They may be deemed as evil and the bad guys, but to be with them I feel well and truly blessed. I've met so many people who mean so much to me. I've never been this happy before in my whole life. Asia said, making Zenobia smile. I see. Ah, that reminds me, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Zenobia said, a favor? Yes, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind showing me around the school tomorrow. Zenobia said, making Asia smile. Yes, of course, Asia replied. And Kibayudo, I was wondering if you would spar with my Durandal sometime. Of course, I was thinking of the same thing. Kiba replied. Now everyone, we have a new member, so it's time to welcome her. Ria said, making everyone cheer. All of a sudden, Rias heard a crash of crockery and snuck away from the welcoming party to find Akeno in the next room picking up a broken teapot. Akeno, what's wrong? Rias said, kneeling down to help. Rias. I'm sorry, I'll pick it up right now. Akeno said, quickly stopping when Rias took her hand. Akeno, tell me what's wrong with you. You have not been acting the same since the battle. Rias said, making Akeno sigh. I'm torn. Issei is a great guy, but part of me is afraid of him. Akeno said, making Rias realize her dilemma. Akeno, Issei doesn't want to kill you. He's your friend. Rias said, but Akeno shook her head. I have a favor to ask you. I have to test him. He's a fantastic man. But the part where his parents were murdered by a fallen angel and the fact that he spent years killing them. I can't help but wanting to test him. I really want to believe him, I do. But I just feel this is important for me to move forward. Please Rias, please just let me handle this my own way. Akeno said, holding on to Ria's shoulders. I understand. I will allow you to do this. But it's not because I believe what you're doing is right. It's because I believe in the man I have chosen. Ria said, smiling as she left the room. Chapter 18, Akeno's Will. Akeno's POV. My name is Akeno Himejima. Ever since I was a little girl, many attempts have been made on my life due to one reason. I am a fallen angel. Because of this, I have suffered countless times with discrimination and isolation. Because of this cursed blood that runs through my veins, my mother is no longer with me anymore. She was taken from me because of my father's DNA. Evil fallen angels came to kill him, but both I and my mother were once again victims in this scheme. I still remember the pain coursing through my feet as I ran away from my home whilst I was being chased down by the murderers who took my mother from me. I ran for days until my legs were stained with blood until I could run no longer. It was when I thought all hope was lost that I met her, Ria's Gremory, my master and savior. Ria's Gremory is my king. I have served as her queen for many years and she has become my best friend who I would easily throw my life away for. Ever since I have been part of Ria's family, everything has been perfect and I finally felt I could settle down and relax within a place I belong. Well, that is until I met him. Second year student Issei. I still remember the first thing he said to me and it still sends shivers down my spine whenever I remember it. Vice President, I know what you really are. The moment I heard those words, I felt like once again I was in someone's crosshairs just waiting for the bullet to strike my core. Since the day Issei joined the Gremory household, part of me has always feared him and what he is capable of. Issei is a very kind man and has always behaved in a manner which makes me feel foolish for ever doubting his intentions towards me. But I cannot help it for I know of a different Issei, a terrifying one. Since Issei became a devil, he has to the present time killed 10 fallen angels. And even though Riaz tells me not to worry that Issei won't do anything to hurt me, I still can't help but worry whenever I see him fight. He has demonstrated power which far surpasses my own, making me feel slightly vulnerable when I see him fight. Thinking that one day I could be the one on the receiving end instead. The most recent example would have to be his fight against Kakabiel, where he made his hatred towards fallen angels very clear. I know firsthand how it feels to hate the species that took someone from you at such a young age. Which is why I too hate what I am. Fallen angels murdered Issei's parents just like they murdered my mother, so it's understandable if he comes to hate me also. Well, with my king's permission, I am now facing my problem directly to see what lies for my future. I want to believe in Issei-kun, but I feel this is the right thing to do in order to escape this fear. It is a Sunday afternoon and I am at this moment in time, kneeling by a small table inside a special temple. This temple doesn't affect us devils because of a task us devils were assigned by the Archangel Michael. I thought I would get this situation out of the way using today as a good opportunity. Riaz is fretting over the parent class viewing session happening tomorrow, and I know personally that she is going to need Issei to help get her through it, so I need to be sure he can fully focus on Riaz when she needs him. I was snapped out of my train of thought when the man who was on my mind entered through the doorway. "Good afternoon, Akeno-san," Issei said, bowing as he entered the temple. "Yes. Thank you for coming, Issei-kun," I replied, feeling the nerves kicking in. "I'm amazed that I can enter a temple like this. It feels nostalgic," Issei said, looking relaxed. "That's right, this temple is a special kind which allows devils to enter on the grounds of an agreement we have with the angels," I replied, pouring some tea out for the both of us. "Oh, thank you. So what did you want to discuss with me, Akeno-san? You seemed pretty serious over the phone," Issei said, taking a sip from his tea. "Yes, I have something very important to talk to you about," I said, placing my hand towards the ceiling, causing a golden light to shine. As soon as the vision in the room became visible again, a majestic holy sword was levitating in between the two devils. "What is that?" "A holy sword," Issei said, admiring the mysterious blade. "That's right, this is the holy sword known as Ascalon. It was entrusted for us to protect. It's a sword known as the Dragon Slayer, and Michael believed that it would be best to give this weapon to you, Issei-kun," I said, giving the sword to him. "Wow, this would certainly come in handy." "I gratefully accept," Issei said, taking possession of the sword. "Partner, you can use the boosted gear to merge with the sword if you have enough willpower," Drake said, exciting the Red Dragon Emperor. "Seriously, now that would be badass," Issei said, preparing to commence the fusion. "Wait, Issei-kun. Before you do that, I have something I need to get off my chest," I said, beginning to unfasten my robe sash. "Akeno-san, what are you doing?" Issei said, shielding his eyes as I undressed myself. My body quivered with a combination of exposing myself to Issei and the fear of making myself vulnerable. "Don't look away, Issei-kun. I want you to look at me," I said, fully extending my black feathered wing. "Akeno-san," Issei said, complying with my wishes, and looked. "As you can see, I have a devil wing and a wing of a fallen angel. First of all, I want to say thank you to you for saving my life in our most recent battle. As a reward, I called you here to grant you a special favor. As you know, I'm not an ordinary devil, I am cursed with this power and this ghastly wing. I became a devil in hopes of getting rid of this defect," I said to Issei, who sat there listening patiently. "What do you think of such a monstrosity? Issei-kun, you hate fallen angels, don't you? They scarred you and took your family away from you. Of course you would hate them," I said, starting to worry now. "Yes, I do. Fallen angels took my parents from me. They always try to take what is important from me, and I don't regret a single assassination I did on them. But Akeno-san is different. I like Akeno-san," Issei said, making my heart skip a beat. "I always thought that fallen angels were selfish and only ever cared about their own desires or goals. But when I met you, Akeno, I realized that you're different. You care about everyone. Riaz, Asia, Kiba, Kaneko-chan, Zenobia, and even me. You care about us all. And that's what I like about you." Issei replied. But what if the reason I had been getting so close to you was so I could mislead you and then kill you myself? I replied, lying through my teeth. Akeno-san would never do such a thing. Yes, I would. That's why I'm giving you the chance to run that sword through me right now. I'm a witch and I deserve to die, I said, feeling truly petrified now as I took hold of the blade. I felt a strong force tackle me to the ground and I braced myself, this being the end. However, the only thing I heard was the sound of clanking metal as the sword scattered away across the floor. Issei was on top of me now, staring right into my eyes. But his eyes did not contain disgust or hatred, they held inside sincerity and determination. Don't you ever say you deserve to die ever again. Do you understand me, Akeno? No matter what happens, I promise that Akeno will always be the caring and beautiful senpai I have come to know. It is true that I hate fallen angels, but Akeno is Akeno. No matter what you are, I will always remember you as the beautiful and strong vice president of the Occult Research Club. What I'm trying to say is, even if you are half a fallen angel, I still like you and I always will. Issei said, making my heart flutter. I lay there speechless for minutes. He called me by my name alone, and he also said every word I wanted to hear. He truly is the kind and gentle devil I believed him to be. His heartwarming words brought me to tears, and now I don't know how to respond. He doesn't hate me at all. Issei likes me. After hearing such a strong speech full of charisma and truth, I can see why Rias fell for him. With that, you just dealt the final blow. After hearing all of that, how could I not get serious towards you? Akeno-san. Issei said, not suspecting me when I took the initiative and switched places with him as I now lay on top of him. I've decided. I said, unable to contain my happiness. You've decided. Issei-kun, I don't mind being third. Third. Yes, third. If you think about it, it's not a bad place to be. It feels like I'm having an affair. It's really thrilling. What are you saying, Akeno-san? Your top is coming off again. Issei said, starting to lose it. Issei-kun, ask anything of me, and I'll do it for you. If President won't spoil you enough, I will happily do things she want. I said, sitting up and pressing his head right between my breasts. Akeno-san. Hey Issei-kun, please call me just Akeno again. Please, just one more time. I said, wanting to be spoiled more now. Akeno. Issei said, making me blush and squeeze him tighter. I'm so happy, Issei. I said, refusing to let him go now. After I calmed down, Issei and I finished our tea, and then Issei succeeded in fusing Ascalon with his sacred gear. Issei-kun. Thank you for coming today. I feel like a great weight is lifted off my chest and I feel closer to you now. I said, feeling very happy now. Likewise, Akeno, I feel that we have also gotten closer. Issei said as he began to leave. Well then, Issei, I have to go meet the president at our meeting, so I will be taking my leave now. I said, making my leave. No problem, Akeno, I have to get some shopping on the way home. Take care on your way home. Issei said, finally taking his leave. The meeting went on for a lot longer than me and President Rias had anticipated, and now the sun had set. It's finally over. Ria said, stretching her arms into the air to loosen her joints. Yes. Well, I best be taking my leave, Rias. I said, bowing and beginning to walk the other way until I felt a hand touch my shoulder. Wait, Akeno. Why don't you come home with me and stay at Issei's for the night? Ria said, making me blush at the sound of the suggestion. Issei-kun's home? I said, replying to Rias. Yes. I'm sure Issei wouldn't mind letting you stay the night. He tends to cook loads anyway. Ria said with a huge smile. Okay, then I guess I will take you up on your offer. I said, secretly jumping for joy. Speaking of Issei, how did it go today? Ria said, inquiring about my meeting with him. Yes, it went very well. Ascalon accepted him and we had a nice tea, drinking tea together. I said, trying to dodge the question. That's great. But I was wondering how your talk went with him. Ria said, beginning to tease me now. It's my complete loss, Rias. He completely swept me off my feet and proved me wrong. He doesn't hate me at all. He's a gentle and kind person. I can see why you fell in love with him. I said, taking Rias off guard. What? What are you saying, Akeno? I don't really. Ria said, hiding her face. Oh, you don't? Then you won't mind if I take him instead? I said, making Rias pout. No. You absolutely cannot take Issei away from me. Ria said, getting very protective of him. Geez, Rias, you're so stingy. You have to share him with me after you let me and him become closer. I said, making Rias on her guard. Issei's POV. After my meeting with Akeno, I took a detour and got the shopping done. And now I am on my way home. As soon as I approached my door, I suddenly went on alert when I felt a powerful presence in my house. Activating my sacred gear, I unlocked the door and leaped through the entrance. Ah, Issei-kun. Welcome home. The voice said, making me drop my guard. Lord Surziches, what are you doing here? I said, realizing the strong power was the demon lord himself. Surely you didn't think that I would miss out on yours and Ria's class review tomorrow? I was wondering if you could let me stay the night so I can meet my father up to school tomorrow. Serziches said. Of course Lord Serziches, I was just about to prepare dinner, but Riaz should be back any minute now. I said going towards the kitchen to unload the shopping. As if on cue, Riaz and Akeno walked through the door. Big brother, what are you doing here? Riaz said, clearly surprised. Riaz, good evening to you. I asked Issei-kun if I could stay the night. Serziches said, making Riaz pout. But what about Grafia, why don't you sleep in the guest room with big sister Grafia? Riaz said, trying to negotiate. Grafia will be coming here tomorrow, so I came here first to meet up with father. Serziches said, making Riaz frown. But then I won't be able to sleep with Issei tonight. Riaz said, starting to get upset. Now, you can lend me Issei for one night. Besides, when you marry him you can sleep with him whenever you like. Serziches said, making Riaz get flustered. How can you say something so embarrassing? Big brother, you idiot. Riaz said as soon as I entered the room. Riaz and Akeno-san. Good evening, Issei. I'm sorry but our meeting ran late. So would it be okay if Akeno stayed the night? Riaz asked me, looking as cute as ever. Sure thing, I'll make her some dinner too if you're both hungry, of course. Akeno, you're in for a treat, Issei is a very good cook. Riaz said, praising me. Then I will happily accept. Akeno replied. After a lively dinner everyone went their separate ways. I went to my room after finishing washing up and Lord Serziches went to take a bath. Just after I finished my homework, I heard a knock on my door. Yes, come in. I said, inviting in whoever was on the other side of the door. Please excuse us, Issei. Riaz said, entering the room. I'm coming in. Another said, entering after Riaz. Riaz. Akeno-san. What are you doing here? I said, feeling startled all of a sudden. Pardon the intrusion, Issei, but Akeno insisted on thanking you again for what you did for her today. Riaz said, approaching my bed with Akeno. What did I do exactly? I said, puzzled as to what I was being merited for. I wanted to apologize to you as well, Issei-kun, I saw you as a threat, so I kept my distance from you. And I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Akeno said, bowing down after she finished speaking. Of course. I'm just glad we're both on the same page now. I said, feeling relieved Akeno was acting like her normal self again. Akeno told me what you said to her. I also want to thank you for making Akeno happy by telling her that it's okay for her to be herself. That no matter who she is you will always like her. You really gave her confidence a boost. Riaz said, suddenly taking my arm. I was so happy you said such nice things to Akeno and I'm so proud of you. I thought to myself, that is definitely my Issei. Riaz said, getting very close now. Oh my Riaz, surely you know that he is going to be my Issei from now on as well. You have to share him. Hey Akeno, you're getting too close to him. We may be best friends but still know your place, Riaz said, pulling me towards her. What's the problem? I'm just showing him my appreciation. Hey Riaz, can you give me Issei-kun? Akeno said, making Riaz get moody. No way. Issei is the most important to me, I will never give him to you. Riaz replied, showing huge signs of hostility now. Geez Riaz, you really do fit your title as the Crimson Princess. You're very stingy. Akeno said, now pulling me out of Riaz's grasp. Akeno. You dare try steal that is most precious to me, Riaz said, starting to emit a crimson aura. If you want to keep him then you'll have to put your pride as a woman on the line. Akeno said, pulling me into her chest. Fine then. I will. Riaz said, pulling me into her chest now. Here Issei, does that feel good? You like my breasts most after all, right? Riaz said, embracing me tightly. Oh my, Issei, have a feel of my breasts too. You can touch all you want as well. Akeno said, making my nerves act up. Any more of this and I'll lose to my desires again. I thought to myself as I was stolen from the opposing side. Issei-kun. Geez. I refuse to lose to Akeno. Riaz said, making me face her now. Everything inside the room suddenly went from lively and energetic to complete silence, as if time itself had stopped. Riaz looked right at me with rosy cheeks as we gazed into each other's eyes, our lips just seconds apart. My heart was beating like a huge drum as I began to smell her delicious fragrance, which came from her beautiful cascading hair. Issei, she said with just barely a whisper as our lips were about to connect. Well, it seems you've finally decided to make Issei your husband then. Right, little sis? Serziches said, making Riaz almost fall off the bed. Geez big brother, what are you saying so easily, Riaz said in an embarrassed tone. Sorry to interrupt you my dear sister, but I already told you I will be borrowing Issei tonight. Serziches said, making Riaz look like the world had just ended. No way, I can't sleep without Issei. I will just die if I can't sleep with him tonight. Riaz said, suddenly hugging me. Riaz. Will you be able to sleep without me tonight? I can't sleep without my Issei to hold me. Riaz said, looking at me with her puppy eyes. I'll definitely be lonely Riaz, but I promise I'll make it up to you tomorrow. Anything you want to do tomorrow we'll do it, I promise. I said, suddenly not brightening her mood. but bringing it to an understanding. Looks like our fun is over for today, Issei. Well then, see you tomorrow. Akeno said, suddenly kissing me on the cheek and running out of the room. Hey Akeno. What did you do that for? Ria said, chasing after her. After the two women left, a little golden-haired girl appeared in my doorway. Issei-san. I will also be sleeping in another room tonight. So good night. Asia said, suddenly kissing me on the cheek. Asia. I won't lose to the president or the vice president. She said as she raced out of the room. With the girls gone, only I and Surziches were now in the room together. I'm sorry for all the noise, Surziches, I'm sure you're used to a much more quiet environment. I said, feeling guilty of being a bad host to the demon lord. Not at all, Issei-kun. If anything, I'm happy for you. I haven't seen you this happy in so long now. It's the first time I've seen you smiling so much since I turned you into a devil. It looks like you've finally found something to live for. Or should I say someone? Surziches replied, making Issei laugh a bit nervously. Well, I guess you could say that. There definitely is someone who I have a lot to thank for. Issei replied, making Surziches grin. It's not only you, I haven't seen Ria's this happy in a long time and I know you're the reason behind her smile. Surziches replied. But I haven't done much. I'm sure it's all the other servants in her peerage who help more. I said, feeling unworthy to receive such words of praise. Issei-kun, please continue to take care of Rias. Surziches said. Of course, Lord Surziches, as her pawn I will do my best to make my master's wishes come true. I said, finally turning out the light as we both called it a night. Chapter 19. Are you glad you met me? Rias awoke, getting herself out of bed at a slow pace. The Crimson Princess was unable to find the motivation to start the day because of two reasons. The first reason being today was the day she has been dreading all week. Class review day. It wasn't that she didn't want to see her dad today, far from it. It was more the fact that when her dad and brother attend these class review sessions, they incredibly embarrass her by recording her and making her feel uneasy. However, despite Ria's lower expectations for the day, the second reason was more painful and made her feel empty. For the first time in ages, Rias woke alone without having the luxury of using Issei as a body pillow and seeing him as soon as she opened her eyes. Last night the house was crowded with people and she was forcibly shut out of Issei's room by her older brother. As a result, she slept alone whilst Akeno and Asia took possession of the other spare room. Rias sighed heavily, finally deciding to get dressed and prepare herself for the storm she was jumping into today. Rias suddenly perked up when she caught the scent of Issei's cooking. The crimson-haired girl smiled as she followed the remarkable scent coming from downstairs. Rias joined the others at the table, taking a seat next to Akeno and opposite her brother. Good morning, Rias, did you sleep well? Surziches said, slightly irritating her. Rias ignored her older brother and suddenly smiled when Issei came into the room. Rias. Good morning. You're just in time, here's your breakfast. Issei said, placing her plate down and a cup of coffee to help wake her up. Thank you, Issei, it looks good. Rias said, trying her best not to salivate in reaction to the delicious fragrance. So Lord Surziches, you said you had an announcement to make when we were all present. Akeno said, making Surziches put down his cup and clear his throat. Yes. Rias, I have decided to use Kuo Academy as the venue for the upcoming meeting of the Leaders Summit. The red-haired man said, making Rias almost spit out her coffee. What are you saying, big brother? Why at our school? Rias replied, fully curious to her brother's intentions. It's the perfect place for it, Rias. Anyway, eat your breakfast. I want to see you all lively whilst you take part in your studies today. Surziches replied. Geez, you're the demon lord, you can't just abandon your work for this open homeroom. Rias said, showing her discomfort. But this also counts as work to Rias. Surziches said with a grin, making her pout and resume her breakfast. Damn it, Grafia, why did you have to remind him? Rias muttered to herself, dreading what was to come. Rias felt as if her feet were made of concrete slabs as she slowly traveled to school. Feeling even more unmotivated to go to school with every step she took. For once she was not walking alongside Issei on their journey to school, and because of this her mind began to wonder. What does Issei think of me? Does he just see me as his master? I don't know if I'll ever be able to truly stay beside him as a woman. Akeno has gotten closer to him now. Hi to Issei, just what do you think of me really? Rias thought to herself. All of a sudden, Rias snapped back to reality when she felt a muscular hand grip her own. It will be okay, Rias. Issei, I know your older brother can be embarrassing, but just try to enjoy yourself today like any other day. Don't worry, I'm here for you, President Rias. So let's go to school, okay? Issei said with a huge grin which magically brightened Ria's mood. Thank you, Issei, you really are my Issei. Come on, let's go. Rias said, taking Issei's hand and running towards Asia and Akeno. That's right, this is when I feel the most comfortable and happy. When I hold his hand. When I stand by his side. And I swear I will never let anyone take him away from me. Rias thought to herself as they neared the school gates. Yo Haidu. a voice said in the distance. Hey Saji, what's up? Issei said to the blonde student council worker who was now in front of him. I was asked by the student council president to request your assistance in the martial arts club open house this morning. Saji replied. Huh? Why me? Isn't there already a captain of the martial arts group? Issei asked, still confused as to why he was being asked this. That's true, but it turns out he has come down with the flu today and loads of parents have come to view the open house for the martial arts class. But the club needs a high-ranking martial artist to spar with. Saji replied, finally making sense to Issei now. I see. Well, if you're happy with me, I will support you. Awesome. I knew I could count on you, Hayadu. Saji said, now looking at the three girls as he began to take Issei away. Sorry ladies, the student council is borrowing Issei for a while, so we'll be going on ahead. Saji said, practically rushing Issei along now. And just like that, Issei had been separated from the trio of girls he was moments ago walking to school with, leaving an upset and irritated Rias behind him. Geez, it's no fair. Why did Sona have to choose Issei to do it? Rias said, making Akeno grin. Oh my, aren't you getting too possessive of Issei-kun, Rias? Akeno said, making Rias blush and snap back at her. I am Issei's master and he is my cute and powerful pawn. I have every right to want to spend as much time with him as possible. Rias replied back, feeling upset that once again Issei was taken from her. I understand how the president feels. We didn't get to sleep with Issei-sen in his bed last night, so I also feel lonely. Asia said, trying to hide her burning red face now. Elsewhere, Hayadu Issei had now arrived at the gymnasium where the practical open house was being held. It didn't take Issei long to gear and be ready to take part in this sparring session. The Red Dragon Emperor emerged from the changing room and stepped into the hall ready to begin. Issei was given a special unique outfit to wear. Unlike the other members of the martial arts club, Issei's guy was a red one, much like the color of his sacred gear. The guy was sleeveless, much to the joy of the female spectators who could clearly see his muscular biceps. On the back of his top, there was a black Asian dragon embedded on it, much to Issei's liking to the design of his guy. The first thing Issei noticed when he finally reached the mats was the amount of contestants who were here to fight against him and the fact that not all of them were members of the club. In fact, the majority of willing volunteers were angered boys in his class who were jealous of his insane popularity with the girls, including the famous perverted duo Mitsuda and Motohama. Issei sighed, hearing them silently curse him as he took his place as substitute captain. However, the hall was far from silent as many of Issei's groupies had gathered to cheer him on. Kaya. Issei-sama. Be your best, Kuo Prince. Alright, everyone, settle down. Open house is about to begin. Well then, without further ado, let's get this sparring session underway. Begin. The referee said, commencing the class. Okay, who's first? Issei said, taking a fighting stance. I am Takashi Satoshi. Issei-senpai, please spar with me first. The first student said, bowing in respect to his upperclassman. Issei smiled, liking the look of resolve in this man's eyes and his desire to be taught. Of course. Now come at me with everything you have got. Issei said, preparing for the attacker. Takashi let out a battle cry and charged the talented instructor. The fight was now underway after Takashi let out the first punch. Issei evaded the punch and then countered the off-guard student with a dynamic side kick to his chest. Takashi was flabbergasted with how fast the fight was finished after he was sent flying into the air and knocked out of bounds by the talented fighter. A huge chorus of cheers sounded out in the hall after the victory was declared to the young brown-haired teen. Kaya, Issei-senpai is so strong. An energetic scream, getting excited after seeing Issei's lightning-quick win. Fight, Issei-kun. Another girl said, eager for more. Issei easily dispatched fighter after fighter, being both careful to end the fight in one strike and to monitor his strength. How about that, folks? Hayadu Issei has taken on 10 contestants and hasn't even broken a sweat yet in this exciting event. Saji said, taking on the role of the sparring session's guest announcer. Mitsuda and Motohama could not take the sitting down anymore as they did not wait for an invitation and both charged Issei at the same time. Infused with rage and hatred towards Issei, the pair's moves were sloppy and uncoordinated, making it beyond easy for Issei to dodge them. Issei sighed, realizing the two were not fighting seriously as they kept attempting to pull down his trousers in an attempt to humiliate him in front of all these people. Issei decided it would be best to end this quickly to avoid accidentally hurting the pair. The bald-headed male tried punching Issei in the face, but it came nowhere near making contact after Issei stepped to the side and entered into the student's close quarters. And with that, the student's role in this fight would be finished. Issei used this moment to drive a punch into the startled male's gut with just enough force to render him from continuing. Issei-sama, look out. That's not fair, you damn cheater. Issei turned his head and instantly spotted Motohama coming up behind him with a wooden chair. Ha ha, try defending against this Kuo Prince. Motohama said with an arrogant grin. Issei reacted instantly, shocking the crowd and frightening the chair wielder when he effortlessly smashed the chair into pieces with his magnificent 360 tornado kick. Ah. I admit defeat. I surrender. He yelled, getting down on his knees after Issei stopped his sly surprise attack. Issei returned to the middle of the mat and waited patiently for his next opponent. Suddenly, Issei looked up when he saw a student wearing a different uniform to the rest. This fighter wore a dark blue guy and made no hesitation when he walked onto the mat. "Oh, it looks like we have one more challenger for Haidu Issei," Saji said, noticing the sparring session was not over yet. "Nice to finally meet you, Haidu Issei. My name is Ryu Tatsuo. I just transferred here today, but I've already heard so much about you. Please give me a good fight," Ryu said, getting into his own stance. Ryu Tatsuo was just about the same height and age as Issei. His hair, like Kiba's, is golden blonde but spiked up. His eyes were a mysterious emerald green. "Begin," the referee shouted, commencing the match. Ryu made the first move in this battle, aiming a roundhouse kick at Issei's head. Issei blocked the kick and then countered with a punch to his chest. Unfortunately, Ryu caught the punch and then attempted to throw Issei over his shoulder. Issei was lifted off the ground but managed to kick Ryu in the chest whilst he was being lifted. The kick knocked Ryu back, forcing him to let go of Issei, who landed safely on the ground after he quickly rotated his body in midair. Issei went on the offense, this time aiming his own roundhouse kick towards this mysterious fighter. Ryu mirrored Issei's move and blocked his kick with his own reverse roundhouse kick. Issei grinned, quickly backing away and charging in again. "Point Haidu Issei," the referee announced after Issei successfully managed to land his sidekick into Ryu's chest. "Do your best, Issei senpai. Fight." Issei and Ryu broke off from each other and then charged at each other once again. The crowd watched the fight with their mouths wide open, unable to comprehend the speed the two martial artists were fighting at. Issei pressed on further, trying his best as he switched constantly from offense and defense. With every punch they threw out, their opponent either guarded or evaded against the strike. To the regular human eyes, this fight would give off the appearance that the fighters possessed more than two arms as they struck with them so swiftly and powerfully. Unfortunately, this time Issei was struck in the gut by Ryu's dynamic punch, awarding him a point. With the score tied, the two fighters got serious. "It's time I got serious," Issei said, removing his top to the female spectators' delight as they marveled at his well-built form. The Red Dragon Emperor and this mysterious fighter fought on like true warriors, each refusing to back down against their opponent. Ryu once again tried to hit Issei with an iron fist. However, this time Issei tried a different strategy and gave off the appearance he slipped. Then when his plan worked like a charm, Issei suddenly took action and from the ground, struck Ryu with a swift kick to his gut. Issei wasn't done yet though. After his kick connected perfectly, with his foot still pressed into Ryu's gut, used his limited power to throw Ryu over his body and made him hit the mat back first. "Point Haidu Issei. The victor is Haidu Issei," the referee announced, making the crowd go wild. Issei went over to Ryu and offered a hand out to him. Ryu smiled and took it gladly. "Great fight, Ryu. You're very skilled," Issei said with a smile. "And so are you. The rumors about you being gifted in the martial arts were in fact true. But I wonder how you would do against me if we went all out with our sacred gears." "Farewell, Red Dragon Emperor," Ryu said, leaving the gym and also leaving a stunned Issei in the process. "Enjoy what you have while it lasts, Haidu Issei. Because soon you will lose everything," Ryu said after he eventually got outside. Just as Issei was about to return to the locker room, he realized that his top had gone missing. Little did he know, Kiryu was behind all of this. Issei shrugged it off and proceeded towards the changing to get ready for open class in his classroom. Kiryu grinned now her stand was built and fully stocked. "Step right up, ladies. I've got Haidu Issei merchandise here. I've got pictures of him fighting and in the locker room and even his top he just wore during the tournament. And for a limited time only, I have video footage of his sparring class." Kiryu shouted, getting Ria's attention. "What is all this?" Ria said, noticing the stand she was monitoring. "Aria-senpai, I'm selling Haidu merchandise, are you interested?" Kiryu said with a smirk upon her face. "Of course not. I just wanted to see what the stand was." Ria said, trying her best to play off she wasn't interested despite the fact she really wanted it. Kiryu grinned, knowing full well that Ria's was interested in Issei after she caught glimpses of Ria's staring at Issei with any opportunity that passed her by. Just as Ria's was on the verge of walking away, a huge crowd of girls suddenly surrounded the stand. "What? A stand of Haidu Issei merchandise?" one girl said as she reached into her bag for her purse. As expected of Kiryu. Another girl said, doing the same as the previous girl. Kiryu looked over at Ria's, who was starting to look uneasy, and grinned once again. "Step right up, ladies. For an offer you cannot refuse." For one lucky girl, I am offering our very own prince's previously worn martial arts guy and some snapshots of our beloved Haidu, both of him fighting, and some cheeky pictures of him whilst he is changing. Kiryu said, holding out the photographs in her hand. Kai. All the girls screamed in unison, showing off an obvious desire for this bargain sale. Rias looked on, both upset and irritated, as this previously quiet stand had transformed into an all-out bidding war for her cute pawns, snapshots and clothing. 100 yen. One girl said, starting the bidding war. 200 yen. The second said, eager to fight for this prize. 3,000 yen. A third girl said, joining in with the fun. 10,000 yen. The final girl said, finally bringing out a huge silence within the crowd. Oh. It seems we may have a winner. Any other bidders? Okay, then, going once. Going twice. And so. 35,000 yen. Ria screamed with her face as red as her hair and sold to third year Ria's Gremory. Kiryu said with a cheeky grin after teasing her senpai like that. No fair, I really wanted that, one girl said, putting her purse back in her bag. As expected of big sister Ria's. Another girl said as Ria's walked past her to collect her prize. Ria's wasted no time loitering around as she raced off to an isolated location, where she used her magic to store Issei's clothing she obtained into a secret space and then placed the photos inside as well. Rias examined the photo closely as it was a picture of Issei caught smiling, his signature grin, which always made her heart beat faster. The Crimson Princess held the photo close to her chest and then stuffed it inside her purse, placing it back in her bag with a smile on her face. Knowing that this would help make the open house a lot easier to get through today. Fortunately for Rias though, her open house wasn't the first for Surziches to visit, as he now made his way to Issei's classroom. Just before class begun, Kiryu came up to Asia and gave her a picture of Issei smiling as he claimed victory in the sparring match against Ryu, making Asia blush and smile. Thank you, Kiryu-san. Asia said, feeling over the moon after receiving such a gift. You're welcome. Do your best, Asia. Kiryu whispered in her ear as she took her seat. Issei, Asia and Zenobia were now all sitting in the classroom with the parents at the back, waiting for their teacher to announce what they were going to be doing today. Okay, today for this open house study, we are going to study the fine arts. You may either paint or mold clay. Anything is okay, so let your imaginations run wild. Asia and Zenobia collected some clay and began to mold what their imaginations could create. Issei, on the other hand, decided to paint, feeling he could express himself further by doing so. Issei began to paint, knowing full well what his picture would be of. A smile appeared on the security's face when a certain crimson-haired girl came into his mind. Issei pictured her gorgeous and gentle smile. Her long, beautiful cascading hair. Suddenly, Issei began to remember last night when Akeno and Rias came into his room and started making his head dizzy with the surprise skinship session he endured. He was then reminded of Rias in particular. Her breasts were so soft and almost drove him over the edge, to the point where if Surziches didn't come in when he did, he would have lost to his desires and taken her there and then. Ria's boobs were so soft. Issei thought to himself, snapping back into reality after 20 minutes, and when he heard murmurs around him. Haidu-kun. Issei's teacher said, getting Issei's attention. Yes sir, what's the ma? Issei said, suddenly stunned by the painting he unconsciously created. Issei had painted a picture of Rias under a rushing waterfall with beautiful garden scenery of flowers around her. Issei's thoughts of Ria's naked form had come to life on his canvas, as her long majestic hair was the only form of censorship, denying access to her stunning body. Magnificent, Haidu-kun. Truly a work of art. Issei's teacher said, completely stunned by such a work of art. Is that big sister Rias? Wow, Haidu has painted her beauty perfectly. One girl said, amazed by another of Issei's hidden traits. Hey Haidu-kun, I will give you 3,000 yen for that painting. A male with a lecherous look in his eyes said as he gazed immaturely at Issei's painting. Forget that lame offer, I'll give you 7,000 yen. For the painting of Ria's senpai's naked body. Motohama said, making the girls glare at him. Get away from Issei-sama's work of art, you lewd beasts. Who knows what you would do with it? A female student said, standing in front of Issei's painting to protect its innocence. That's right, big sister Rias is the only person who deserves this painting, not you perverts. Another girl said, making the boys angry now. Asia was molding her clay into the form of a little dragon like her familiar Issei that she got a few months ago. And Zenobia was listening intently of the commotion occurring in the classroom. I see now, Asia, open state classes are very lively and loud. Zenobia stated, feeling proud and amazed by her analysis. Well, I guess you could say that. Asia said with a smile. Meanwhile, Surziches was grinning at the back of the classroom after he saw so many classmates gathering around Issei, helping him forget the dark times Issei faced before. After an extremely hectic open class session, Issei found his master sitting on her own in the shade. Oh Issei, what brings you here? Ria said, looking at the item Issei was holding. I just wanted to give you this. Issei said, handing her the painting. In seconds, Ria's reddened and she had a huge smile on her face. Issei, did you paint this? Ria said, amazed by the portrait of herself. Yeah, I did it in class and you were on my mind. Issei said, scratching his hair to show he was slightly embarrassed. It's done very well. How did you learn to paint like this? Ria said, curious to Issei's hidden talent. Well, you see, when I lost my parents and your older brother took me in, I asked him to find me a teacher who could teach me to paint so I could preserve my parents' memory. In the first few years I painted their faces in any spare moment I could take advantage of. I guess I just couldn't let them go at the time. And before I knew it, once I picked up the paintbrush just recently, you became my inspiration and project. Issei said, making Ria smile at him. Thank you, Issei, I'll treasure it always. Ria said, staring once again at the beautiful colors painted of her and the scenery around her. Well, now there is a face I haven't seen in a long time. A hidden voice said, startling both Issei and Ria's. Issei's eyes shot wide open as he bowed towards the surprise guest. It's been a long time, Lord Gremory. Issei said, bowing in respect to the current head of the Gremory clan. Father. Ria said, looking at him now as well. Both Issei and Ria stared at a middle-aged looking man with like Surzich's and Ria's crimson red hair, which was tied as a loose ponytail with a black hairband. Also, like his two children, he has bright blue eyes. But unlike Surzich's, he also has a short red beard. The man wore a smart designed white long-sleeved shirt and white trousers. Hello, Ria-tan, you're doing your father proud with your studies and your role as my heir. Thank you, father, I'm doing my best. Ria said, bowing down to him as well. And Issei-kun, you've grown up to be a fine man. I trust you've been taking care of my daughter. Lord Gremory said to the bowing Issei, making him stand up straight again. Absolutely, sir, I will never let her experience a single moment of unhappiness. I promise you as her pawn. Issei said with sincerity, making Lord Gremory smile. I see. I'm counting on you. Father, why are you still here? Classes are over now. Ria said, curious to hear why. Isn't that obvious? Me, Surzich's and Grafia are coming back to Issei's house to share our information we have gathered today. So we'll be joining the party. And of course, we'll be showing our recording of you, Ria-tan, in class today. Lord Gremory said, making Ria's pout and suddenly get a bad feeling. Ria's suspicions were correct. She knew whilst she sat in the front room with her father, her brother, her older sister, Grafia, Issei and Asia. And she felt like she herself was in the most punishing depths of hell as the video played on the screen. See, here is Ria-tan being asked a question. And she answers it perfectly. Lord Gremory said to his son as he drank from another beer can. Yeah, and here she is looking embarrassed when she sees us filming her. Surzicha said, laughing as he too enjoyed a swig from his cold beverage. It is a father's job to pay attention to his lovely daughter. Lord Gremory said, making Ria's hold her head in her hands in shame. By the way, Issei-kun, this food is quite delicious. Lord Gremory said, being a good cook himself. It's an honor to hear you say that, Lord Gremory. I went all out, so please eat to your heart's content. And let me know if there is anything else I can do to make your stay more enjoyable. Issei said, trying very hard to accommodate his guests. Issei-kun, from now on you may call me father now that Ria's has fallen in love with you. Lord Gremory said, making Ria's blush. Lord Gremory, there is a certain order you have to follow here. Grafia said, making Ria's stand up. I can't take this anymore. Stupid big brother. Ria said as she ran out the room and up the stairs. President. Issei said, chasing after her. Let's watch Issei's tape next. Surzicha said, pulling out a surprise tape. Oh, you filmed Issei as well? Yes. And it's quite interesting, I must see. Surzicha said as Issei appeared on the screen in his red guy. Piquing Asia's interest as well as she did not get the chance to see Issei in the gym. Issei walked upstairs to find Ria sitting with her back up against the door of his room. President, do you want to go inside? Issei said, making Ria's nod, open the door and collapse headfirst onto his bed. I know they may be embarrassing, but they're just trying to show how much they love you. Issei said, making Ria sigh. I know. Hey, Issei. Yes. Are you glad you met me? I'm very happy I met you. Ria said, making Issei respond immediately. It's an honor. I'm really happy that I met you too. These days I have spent with you have been the happiest times of my life. But. Issei said, making Ria's lift her head. But. What is it, Issei? Just what do you feel for me exactly? Ria's replied, eager to hear how he would respond. Please forgive me, Ria's, but I can't keep this to myself anymore. I have to get it off my chest. Issei said, making the president sit up and stare at him with her beautiful eyes. You see, I'm trying to tell you. Issei said, unable to speak the words on his mind. Ever since I laid my eyes on you I have always admired you and your kindness. And after that I have felt so honored to be your servant and part of your family. But this may make you feel angry or you may hate me for saying this. But I can't keep this to myself anymore. For a long time now. For you, Ria's, I have. I have felt a strong desire to protect you. But not just as your pawn or your servant. It's because I'm in love with Urias. I'm sorry but I can't keep it to myself anymore. I used to spend my days alone. But now I can't even imagine a single day without Urias. And I know I'm in way over my head for saying all of this to you because I'm just your servant. But I can't keep it inside any longer. I'm really sorry, please forgive me. Issei said, suddenly stopping himself when he saw the president's tears flowing. Riaz began to wipe her eyes and hide her face from Issei. Issei just sat there silently feeling guilty for what he had just done. I'm so happy, Issei. Riaz said, leaping into his chest. President. Me too. Issei, I love you too. I was so scared that I was drifting further and further away from you, and that made me so sad. I thought you didn't care about me. But now I can't hold back either. I love you so much, Issei. Ever since you saved me from Razor and challenged him to protect me. Ever since you set me free from the shackles of just being Miss Gremory. With you I can truly feel like just Riaz and not just the heir to the Gremory clan. Riaz said, sitting up to face him. Issei placed a hand on Riaz's cheek and wiped away the tear that was escaping her eye. Riaz. Issei leaned in and closed his eyes. Riaz, feeling the same way, mirrored his actions as her heart beat at 100 miles per hour. Their lips neared closer and closer until they finally met in the middle and combined with each other. The two devils kissed each other passionately in the reflection of the beautiful moonlight which shone from the window. Both showing each other the true meaning of their feelings. Sorry to interrupt. Serzicha said, knocking on the open door. Big brother, why? Riaz said, feeling incredibly irritated right now. I wanted to chat to you about something. But it looks like you'll have no choice but to call me big brother from now on. Right, Issei-kun? Serzicha said, making Issei speechless. Geez, stupid big brother. You always intrude when we want to be alone. Riaz said, showing her clear rage now. Sorry. But I have something to say to you, Riaz. I think you're ready now. What do you mean? Ready for what? Riaz said, showing her curiosity now. Don't you think it's time you release your other bishop? Serzicha said, surprising Riaz. Why now all of a sudden? I believe after how well you did against Kakabiel that you are finally ready to control your bishop's power. So let's do it. Let's break the seal. Serzicha said, leaving Riaz speechless and Issei curious to meeting another servant of the Gremory clan. Chapter 20. Let's clean the pool. The seal is broken. The sun rose over the horizon, shining its powerful rays through Issei's bedroom window, marking the sign of a brand new day. The Red Dragon Emperor awoke from the beams that hid his closed eyelids, and he was ready to start a new day. Well, he would be if he actually had a choice in the matter to get out of his bed to welcome it. For Issei was pinned down by the Crimson Princess. Her arms wrapped around his waist and constricting his arm like a boa constrictor does when they consume their prey. As soon as Serzicha went back home, Riaz made it very obvious where she was going to sleep that night. Stripping off her clothing and tackling Issei onto the bed, declaring that she was going to sleep by his side forever. Issei smiled when he turned his head and saw Riaz sleeping soundly next to him and felt a huge sense of guilt that he had to wake her from her comforting position. Issei poked Riaz on the cheek and she awoke slowly, smiling as soon as her eyes opened. Good morning, my Issei. She said with both a smile and a small blush on her face. Clear signs of a girl in love. Good morning to you too, Riaz. On, I hate to break it to you, but we have to get up. Issei said, making Riaz spring on him when he tried to sit up. No way, can't we just stay like this today? It really is best when I'm by your side. Riaz said with her puppy eyes pleading for him to say yes. Issei smiled again and stroked her hair. You know we have to repay the student council for their help against Kakabiel. Remember, we have to clean the pool today. And besides, I need to get up now for my bath now if you want breakfast today. Riaz, having no choice, let him go. However, just as she watched him walk out of the bedroom, a huge grin appeared on her face. A bath, huh? Riaz said as she got out of bed, hearing the sound of the taps running. Issei sunk into the bath, feeling the fatigue he had just melt away. I wonder when the vanishing dragon will appear again. And when he does, will I be able to beat him? Issei thought until images of Riaz and the others entered his head. No, I will win, I have to protect them all. He thought to himself, ending his doubts. Knock, knock, Issei, I'm coming in. A voice said on the other side of the door. Okay, sure. Wait. What? Issei said, suddenly realizing what was happening. Riaz. What's going on? Issei said in a panic, hiding himself in the water, making Riaz grin. Hey Issei. Do you remember the other night when you said you would make it up to me for letting my brother steal you for the night? Riaz said, making Issei remember his promise. Yes, of course, I said I would make it up to you and I will. What about it? Issei replied, still trying to hide himself. Well, I have always wanted to take a bath with you. So that's my request that I want to cash in on, Issei. Riaz said, dropping her towel to reveal her beautiful naked form. I understand. Issei said, unable to say no to her. Because secretly he too desired this to happen. Well then excuse me. Ria said as she climbed into the bath and leaned up against Issei's chest. Well. Does it feel good, Issei? Taking a bath with me? Ria said seductively in Issei's ear, making him jump a bit when her voice tickled his eardrum. Yes, it's very relaxing to have you beside me. Issei said, trying his best to not let his inner dragon take over again. I'm happy you said that because it's the same with me. Ria said as she now lay on top of him with her breasts on full display. I see, that's good then. Issei said, trying his best to hold back the inner dragon that was close to surfacing now. Ria's has really started going on the attack and being even more seductive since I confessed to her. Hold back. Must hold back my primal desires. Issei thought to himself as the Crimson Princess proceeded to fire another shot at him. Hey Issei. You know it's just the two of us in here. So if you want to come at me. Then I'm okay with that. Ria said in a seductive tone, now kneeling up in the bath so her full body was on display. That line was the limit breaker for Issei. It was futile, he couldn't prevent what was about to happen because he loved this woman more than anything else in existence. Ria's let out a moan as Issei fondled her breasts. And continuously rubbed them carefully with soap. That's right Issei, you may do as you please. Ah. Ria said, now moaning again when Issei pinched both of her nipples. Ria's. Issei. The pair said as they initiated a passionate kiss with each other whilst Issei still played with her breasts, driving the Crimson Princess crazy. When the two broke apart from their kiss, Ria's was now breathing rapidly as she felt extreme pleasure from the skilled hands of her most powerful pawn. Ria's looked deep into Issei's eyes as his hand began to trail down past her belly button and she was awaiting once again a session of him, making her feel good to her very core. Issei-san, your phone is ringing. The blonde-haired girl said, stopping short as she opened the bathroom door and saw the two of them. Thank you Asia, don't worry, I'm about to get you. Issei said, stopping as soon as he saw her strip off her clothes. Asia, what are you? Issei began to say, once again being cut off when Asia jumped into the bath and lay down on his chest, embracing him. I don't want to be left out. Asia said as she held onto him. Asia. Just what do you think you're doing? Ria said, completely shocked by Asia's sudden actions. I won't just let Issei dote on you all the time, President Rias. I also want to bathe with Issei-san. Asia said, showing a complete resolve. Let me just say this now. This man is mine. He is my servant and my lover and I won't let anyone take him away from me. Ria said, feeling very irritated. I too want to stay by Issei's side. I don't care if I'm the second girl. Asia said, confusing both Issei and Rias. The second? What do you mean by that? Rias asked, very curious of Asia's answer. I heard from Surzich's Lucifer-sama that it's common for male devils to have harems. So they can have many women surround him and stay by his side. He also told me even your father has a harem that is monitored by your mother. Asia said, making Rias speechless. A harem? What are you talking about? That's out of the question. He is my Issei. He's my Issei too. And this way every can be made happy. Asia said, fully in favor of the harem plan Surzicha suggested. So you really think that you can do stuff like this with Issei? Ria said, placing Issei's hand on her right boob. Of course I can. For Issei-san I can do anything. I may lose in size, but I won't lose in anything else. Asia said, placing Issei's other hand on her left boob. You know Issei prefers big ones, right? Ria said, feeling superior now. My boobs are still growing so I may be as big as you in the future, President. Asia said, refusing to back down now. Suddenly, Issei put on a serious expression when he sensed something sinister. Rias, Asia, I just sensed a dark aura outside. Issei said, leaping out of the bath along with Rias and Asia, who used magic to dry and dress themselves. Issei opened the front door to find the source of that sinister power's signature. However, there was nobody in sight. That's strange, it just vanished. Issei said, finally easing his guard. What was it, Issei-san? Asia said, who was unable to sense anything before. I don't know, but it was very powerful. Issei said as he went back inside and closed the door. Unaware of the mysterious black cat staring at his house from the fence across the street. After an eventful and active morning, Asia, Issei and Rias were now all fully charged and ready to clean the pool for the student council. Oh Zenobia, good morning to you. Rias said to the sapphire-haired girl who met them halfway towards the school. Oh President Rias, Red Dragon Emperor and Asia, good morning. Zenobia said with a bow. You don't have to be so formal, Zenobia. We're all friends after all, just call me Issei. Issei said with a smile. Very well then, I will call you Issei. Zenobia said, still acting like her serious self. Are you adjusting fine to everyday life, Zenobia-san? Asia said, being her friendly self. Yes, I am. The accommodation President Rias allowed me to live is great and is very practical for my going to and from school. Zenobia said, making Rias reply to her. This space is owned by devils so it was no trouble at all. Well then, shall we go? That pool isn't going to clean itself. Ria said to her servants as they now journeyed to the school. Yes, President Rias. They all said in unison as they followed her there. The four devils soon arrived at Kuo Academy's swimming pool, where they met the rest of the Gremory group. Wow Rias, when you said the pool was filthy, I didn't expect it to be like this. Issei said as he stared at this swimming pool like cesspool. Yes, it hasn't been cleaned for a year, so it's got to this state. But once we clean it, we're allowed to swim to our heart's content. Ria said, secretly excited because of her hidden desire to show off her new swimsuit to Issei. So let's get started everyone. Issei said as they all went to change. Whilst Issei and Kiba were getting changed, Kiba looked towards Issei and took a deep breath. Issei-kun, I just want to say that if anyone ever tries to hurt you, I'll protect you. Kiba said, staring straight at him. Thanks Kiba. But why are you saying that so suddenly? Issei replied. Because it's not easy to say this in front of the others. The fact is you saved me and I wouldn't be worthy of being a knight of the Gremories if I didn't do the same for you. Kiba said with determination in his eyes. Then I'll be counting on you Kiba. Issei said, putting out his fist. Sure. Kiba said as he knocked his fist into Issei's. Just when their knuckles collided, Issei suddenly screamed out in pain. Issei-kun, what's wrong? Kiba said, worried for his friend. The dragon power, it's overflowing again. Issei said in between the pain. Stay here, I'll go get the vice president. Kiba said, running off, leaving Issei alone with Drake. What's wrong Drake? You only do this when a huge power is near us. Is it Volley again? Issei said, holding onto his arm to help suppress the pain. No partner. I'm afraid it's much worse than the vanishing dragon. One of the great dragon kings has awakened. Drake said, making Issei's eyes shoot wide open. You're kidding me, the dragon kings who rival the power of demon lords and the heavenly dragons? Issei questioned, feeling worried now. Yes. And unfortunately for us, the one who has made an appearance is one of the worst there is. Yulong the emerald dragon. Drake said, answering Issei's question. You're kidding. I'm afraid not, be on your guard. Drake said, going back to sleep. Just as Drake finished talking, Akeno entered the room. Hey Akeno. Thanks for coming. Issei said to the girl as she walked towards him. No problem Issei-kun, anytime you need me to suck the power out of you just ask me. It's a privilege that I won't give to anyone else. Akeno said, kneeling down and taking his arm. Please do it. Issei said as Akeno placed his finger in her mouth. Akeno's mouth began to salivate as she sucked the power out from his fingertips. Making Issei moan slightly from the sensation and made Akeno giggle. Issei, hearing you moan like that makes me want to bully you more. Akeno said, using her tongue as well on his fingers. Akeno, what are you saying? Issei said, taken off guard by Akeno's sadist side. If it feels that good, I could always suck somewhere else to extract the dragon's power, which will make you feel even better. Akeno said, still sucking on his fingers despite the fact that the power had already been extracted. Somewhere else. Issei said, feeling trapped now. Hey, you want to try cheating with me? Akeno said, making Issei even more panicked. Cheat. You and Rias are officially a couple now, so I can now start my affair with you. How wonderful, it'll be a little secret just between us. Akeno said, making Issei blush and feel very nervous about his other dragon power awakening. Hang on a second Akeno, what are you saying? Issei said to Akeno, who tackled him and now was moving in for a kiss. And just what do you think you're doing Akeno? A voice said, making Issei and Akeno look towards the entrance. Rias. I was just distracting the dragon inside so I could extract the power from Issei-kun. I wonder about that, it seems like you're trying to take advantage of my Issei. Ria said, giving off a rage-infested aura. Oh my, you've become very possessive of Issei-kun now haven't you Rias? Akeno said, unleashing her own aura. Both of you let's calm down and go clean the pool so we can swim afterwards. Okay. Issei said, managing to calm them down. Issei-kun is right Rias. We'll settle our battle later. Akeno said, flipping Ria's switch. I refuse to give Issei to anyone Akeno. Even if you're my best friend I won't lose that is most precious to me. Ria said as they both walked towards the pool. After an immense spring cleaning of the polluted pool, Akeno rose her hand into the air to make a magic circle appear. Out from the magic circle clean and pure water gushed out, making the swimming pool that previously looked like a swamp into an appearance of a beautiful forest sparkling river. Now everyone don't hold back and swim to your heart's content. Ria said, making everyone cheer. By the way Issei. Ria said, getting his attention. Yes. What do you think of my swimsuit? Rias asked, showing it off. It really suits you Rias, you look very beautiful. Issei said, making Rias smile. Oh my Rias, it looks like you wanted to show Issei-kun your swimsuit really badly. Akeno said, making Rias look a bit irritated. Well of course he's my lover after all. But what about you Akeno, that's quite a revealing bikini to just swim in. Rias said, feeling suspicious. Who knows? Akeno said, leaving it a mystery for Rias. Issei-san, I also changed into a swimsuit. What do you think? Asia said, wearing a regular blue school swimsuit. It suits you, Asia. You look very cute. Issei said, making Asia smile. Thank you, Issei-san. That makes me very happy. She replied, appreciating the compliment. But of course, Kaneko-chan looks cute too in her swimsuit. Issei said, catching Kaneko off guard. Thank you, Issei-senpai. Actually. Kaneko began to say, catching Issei's attention. What is it, Kaneko-chan? Issei said with a smile, making this easier for her. I have a favor to ask of you. Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2. Right, extend your legs more. Issei said while Kaneko kicked her legs and Issei held her hands. You really surprised me, Kaneko-chan. I never would have guessed you didn't know how to swim. Issei said while she worked her hardest to kick her legs. I'm sorry for causing you trouble. Kaneko said, feeling embarrassed. What are you talking about? It's no trouble at all, Kaneko-chan. And besides, we're friends, so of course I would come to help you when you needed. Issei said, patting her on the head, and as a result he accidentally bumped into the end of the swimming pool, knocking the silver-haired girl into his arms. It's just as I thought, Issei-senpai is very kind and gentle. Kaneko said with a blush. Issei-kun, how about a race? Kiba said, wearing his swimming goggles and hat. Sure, you're on. Issei said, helping Kaneko out of the pool, and who afterwards decided to be the referee. Ready, go. Kiba said, causing them both to dive into the pool. Issei and Kiba were both neck and neck as they mustered up all their strength and stamina to obtain victory. All of a sudden, when the pair reached the end of the pool, Kiba and Issei kicked off the wall and swam back the way they came, Kiba now out in front thanks to his stronger leg power. Issei grinned, leveling himself up to try catch Kiba. Once again the pair were both tied for the win. However, at the last stretch, Kiba showed his speed and leg power were just a bit higher than Issei's as he narrowly won the competition. Amazing, Kiba, it's just as I thought, you really are fast. Issei said, getting out of the pool to dry himself off. You're fast too, Issei-kun, I just barely won that race. Let's both continue to do our best as the only man in the Gremory group at the moment. Kiba said, shaking Issei's hand. Issei sat down to relax his muscles, but is certain someone was going to prevent him from resting right away. Issei, could you rub some sun cream on me? Ria said, making Issei jump. Sure, I would be happy to. Issei said, secretly worried that this activity would create a dangerous situation. Issei approached the prone Ria's Gremory and began to rub the cream onto her back. That feels good, Issei. Be sure to rub it all over. Ria said, making Issei rub the liquid on the back of her thighs as well. How's that? Issei said as he finished up her legs. Hey Issei, can you rub some on my breasts as well? Why? Lying here is really relaxing for me. After all the work I have done this week, it feels rejuvenating for me. But I forgot to rub some on my chest, and I'd hate for it to be burr, Ria said, being surprised when Issei started rubbing sun cream on her breasts without her saying another word. Just leave it to me, Ria, I'll make sure your beautiful skin isn't burned. Issei said over the sounds of her moaning as he lathered her chest with the liquid. Is this okay, Ria? Issei said, unaware as he had never done this before. Yes. Keep going just like that. Ria said, feeling very good right now. Unfortunately for Ria, somebody decided to interrupt her fun. Ara. It's not fair if you just keep him to yourself, Ria. Here, Issei-kun, I have big boobs for you to play with as well. Akeno said, embracing Issei's arm topless. Hey Akeno, what do you think you are doing? Issei's not done rubbing the cream on yet. Ria said, feeling irritated that Akeno insisted on getting in her way again. I just want Issei-kun to play with me as well. Come on, Ria, just give him to me for today. Akeno said, licking Issei's neck. No way. I'll never give Issei away to anyone. Ria said, starting to get angry at her best friend. Hey Issei-kun, do you want to come play with me instead? Akeno said, biting on the top of his ear. All of a sudden, a swimming racing numbered stand was blasted to smithereens in a crimson light. Akeno. Don't you think you're taking this too far? Ria said, generating destruction flames in her hand. Oh my, it looks like we'll be resuming our fight now then. Akeno said after dodging and throwing her own magic power at Ria's. Issei is mine. Why don't you just let me spoil him a bit? Because you'll just try and take him away from me. Geez, Ria's, you're so stingy. Issei evacuated the area, saying he was going to go check on Zenobia. Ah, Issei, hello. Zenobia said, appearing out of nowhere. So this is where you were, Zenobia. What took you so long? Issei said, seeing Zenobia in her emerald swimsuit. It's the first time I have worn a swimsuit, so I had difficulty putting it on. Zenobia said, looking conflicted. I see. Well, it looks good on you, Zenobia. He said, suddenly moving backwards when Zenobia was approaching him. What's wrong, Zenobia? Issei said as soon as he was pushed into the changing room by Zenobia. While I was getting changed, I got to thinking about what President Ria said to me when I couldn't decide how to live my life. You see, I spent most of my life serving God. So when I found out God was dead, I didn't know what to do. And President Ria said to me that devils should always grant other people's desires and their own. So I decided that I would have a baby. And I want you to impregnate me. Zenobia said, Issei down onto the floor now. Why me, Zenobia? I mean, what are you saying, Zenobia? Let's just calm down for a second. Issei said, unable to stop Zenobia's advances peacefully. You demonstrated how strong you are through your battle with Irina and Kakabiel. Plus you have a dragon residing inside you. I desire these traits for my child. Please make a baby with me. Zenobia said, taking off her top and lay on top of Issei. Suddenly, a few shadows appeared at the entrance. And what's going on here, Zenobia? Ria said, feeling a bit upset. Oh my, Zenobia, that's cheating. I'm going to take Issei's virginity. Okeno said. Issei said, I would have done if you asked me. Asia said, I'm just following your advice, President, and using Issei to give me a baby. Make a baby, all of the girls said in unison, feeling greatly surprised by Zenobia's confession. After this commotion was sorted out, the Gremory family now stood outside the sealed door. Iria's Gremory, hereby order you to release your secrets. Unchain yourself from this door and reveal to me my servant. Release my bishop from captivity and open for me now. Ria's Gremory chanted, shaking the corridor. A huge row of chains rattled throughout the area as they broke apart and fell to the floor. Finally granting access to the hidden room of Kuo Academy. The Gremory group all stood outside the door behind Ria's as she opened the doors. Now, let's go and greet another member of our family. Ria said as the doors parted open. To be continued. This is the end of the video. If you enjoyed the story, then hit the like button and comment your favorite part, but for now, see you all in the next video.